Man, I just keep pausing for a really long time trying to figure out where my train of thought has gone. Just like the train of thought in Inside Out, which has a track that develops as it goes along, which, honestly, that makes sense. I hadn't really thought about that, but you know, that movie is a really smart movie in general, and it had only just occurred to me how much sense it makes that the track appears in front of the train of thought as it goes along. And it isn't just a set track, because that's what a train of thought is like, you know, it goes in all directions, there's no telling exactly where it'll go. About the pose, I'm not entirely sure if I actually want to collect all the pose anymore. I was thinking it would make sense for me to go through this game and collect everything, because, you know, if I'm only going to Let's Play this game once, or maybe twice if I don't decide to do a 100% playthrough of it, it would make sense to complete it all the first time, just to get everything that there is to get, show everything off. But I don't know if the pose are really worth it. Like, I've gotten them all before. It wouldn't be some kind of accomplishment like, hey, I'm doing this because I've never done it before, it's all really exciting. It wouldn't be like that, it's just... it's a really tedious quest. I'll get them if I see them, like this one. But I don't know if I really want to go to the trouble to get all 60 of them. It's probably better in the HD version than it is in this one. I'm guessing that there's more of an indication of where they are, like maybe they appear on the map or something. But at least in this version, it's really a chore to find them all. And I'm probably never going to do a 100% playthrough of Ocarina of Time because of the Skulltulas, which I think are worse. Quite a bit worse, actually. It's just this kind of mission that I think kind of sucks. So, yeah, all you get for getting them all anyways is an infinite repeating, like, rupee refill. Or maybe not even a full rupee refill, but, like, you can get 100 rupees at a time whenever you want to. Which is nice and all if you have plans to use the magic armor, which I don't have yet, but I don't find it that useful. It's a little bit useful in the Cave of Ordeals, which is something that I would like to record live, but... well, actually, I did record it. I just decided to skip the first playthrough of it and go to the second instead, maybe do a live commentary of that instead, because Cave of Ordeals is a little bit different the second time around. Just a little bit. Yeah. So I apologize for anyone who wanted me to completely complete this game. I just don't think the pose will be worth it. I think it would be more of a hassle than it's worth, considering that this playthrough has already gone on for a sextillion years. Oh good, now we have to go back to the village elder. Yay. Yay! Once upon a time, in Winterlands of Snow there was a little town of 50 folks or so, but monsters were around 1,000,000 years ago, but they were not afraid because they all had ghost must stay. Anyways. Yeah, I cut a bunch of stuff out just now because... turns out, I mean, he mentioned the village elder, which I thought meant the guy on the top of Death Mountain with the, like, not quite Dilbert pointy-haired boss hair, but sort of, who you wrestle with that one time. Yeah, I thought it meant him. Korgoron, I think is his name. But no, I went all the way up to the top of Death Mountain, and that was not the right elder. Why do there have to be 3 elders? That's dumb. But here's a quest that's kind of stupid, but I think it's kind of fun at the same time, because all you do is run along the edge, and you will be okay. Living on the edge! Yeah, I'm thinking still. I mean, what I just sang a second ago, very poorly, was from Blockhead Episode 8, one of the many Flash movies that I've downloaded recently because I just wanted to be reminded of it and have it in my stockpile to reference at any time. And also my purpose for doing that is, like, if anything ever gets deleted from the internet, I want to be able to have it still available. And there are some things that I've looked for that just don't exist anymore, but I've been able to find most everything that I've wanted to. Well, hold on. Hold that thought. Let's sprinkle this guy first. And look at his amusing face. Ooh-wah! Yes. Most enthusiastic Goron that will ever exist. I mean, you can say what you will about Darunia doing the dance, but you can't argue with that face. And then the cutscene should end there, but it doesn't. Just comes back. I love the overly long pause. This whole scene is stupid, but greatly stupid. And he drops a heart. Because that's something that people normally drop on accident. Whoops. Dropped my, my essential internal organ. Won't be needing that. But it's amazing looking through all of those movies and remembering things that you'd completely forgotten. Because it's like there's an animation that I totally forgot existed called Nightmare City, which is basically this very anime-esque music video type thing of like cats fighting in a city that is a corrupt city or something, and I don't know, it's very stylish, and I always thought it was cool at the time, and that's something that I totally forgot about, and, you know, it's like looking through your subconscious as this big file cabinet, and not thinking anything of it because, oh, it's just a whole bunch of files, I don't want to look through all that stuff. But then you come across the name that's on one of the drawers, and it's like, oh, I remember what's in that drawer now. That's cool. It's basically what it's been like. Yes, Link, run into that basket. Run into that solid iron basket, apparently. Where to now? Lake Hylia? No? Yes? No? Sora's Domain? Past self, what are you doing? I have no idea what you're doing. I don't know what I did 3 months ago. Maybe this is how Big Tip felt whenever he looked back at his Pikmin 2 Let's Play. Like, that he recorded all the footage of about a year before actually commentating over most of it. That must have been a trip. Of course, he actually had someone to co-commentate with. And I don't. I'm just looking at all of this and being baffled. And the only person that I have to talk to is my subconscious file cabinet. Once again, don't think I'm gonna get all the pose, but this was the decision that I made after recording all of this, so I'm going to be going out of my way to get a good many poses here anyways. I do think that I will still get all of the heart containers, or heart pieces. Well, obviously heart containers, because those are... I got a blue... I've started saying that differently every time. Just, I got a blue... I got a bloopy... Gosh. I think I still love Blockhead as a series on Newgrounds, even though, like everything else, it hasn't aged as well as it would be nice if it had, but my favorite one used to be Blockhead Ghostmas, which is kind of a standalone, shorter one that's not any part of the main series, but it's... That one's interesting because the whole story is told out of order in that one. It takes place at nighttime first, and then in the morning, and then at nighttime again, and then in the morning again, and then it's at night again. But it's all the same day. Yeah, that one used to be my favorite, but I think now the other ones are funnier because that's the one that I watched so much of that it's like less surprising to me now. But I still enjoy how he talks whenever he's writing the letter. Like, what does he say? It's like, Ghostmas is about love. Halloween's is about stupid. And also dirt, maybe. So please cancel your Halloween's Day forever, thank you. Love, your #1 guy. I love you. And then he looks at his picture that he drew, because it was not a letter. Also, Link's face just now. Link is... Wow, like... Come to think of it, it must be kind of a shock for Link to see something normal, given his adventure. I was about to say, man, come on, Link. It's just a house with some boat stuff in it. You don't really need to be that impressed, but, you know, he's seen all these monsters and everything. Seeing something peaceful, it must be nice. I like this room. This room is different from anything else in the game because it's kind of like a point-and-click adventure. You look at stuff, and then there's dialogue for it. Like, that's really crazy. You can look at just about anything in the room, and there will be some sort of input for it. And I wish that there was more stuff like this throughout the game. Or throughout any game, really. Like, oh, yep, there's Ocarina of Time guy. He may just be one of my ancestors. Rollgoal. We have to play Rollgoal. Come on. Rollgoal is unnecessary, and I'm definitely not going to play all of this. But, yeah. Rollgoal here is a game in which you roll a ball to the goal, and it has 8 worlds, with, I don't remember how many levels are in each. Wait, is it 8 worlds? Maybe it's 4 worlds. I don't know. There are a lot of levels. But the thing is, there's only a few actual levels. There's like 8, maybe. And they just repeat. But you have to go through them faster. And maybe they're like mirrored sometimes. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. But it's only really worth showing 1 world's worth of Rollgoal. So that's what I've decided to do here. And you always have to leave and come back in for them to reset. Which is slightly obnoxious, but not so terrible. In my leisure replay, where I did everything that could possibly be done in the game, to the best of my ability, I did go through every level of this, and it's a little silly because you spend so much money, like, playing this game if you fail a bunch at it, and I was doing that intentionally because I wanted there to be, like, more space in my wallet to get rupees from treasure chests. So I was actually pretty disappointed whenever I found out after completing Rollgoal that it just completely fills up your wallet. Like, come on, that was the whole reason that I was doing this, was to not fill up my wallet. Which, in any other situation, would be a great prize. Oh yeah. I think I am now looking to see if I got a specific useful item over here. I don't think I ever came over here at any other point in the playthrough. So, yeah, might as well go for this now. Do some fishing. Fishing mailed. I was recently asked by my sister if fishing is a hobby that I would take up in my regular real life, and I'm pretty sure it is not. Because to me, fishing is basically just, you sit for a while, and you may or may not catch a fish. and that's about it. I don't really see much. Like, the nature aspect of it is nice. And I guess it's relaxing just to be kind of in a very still environment. Just not really doing anything of grave importance. Grave importance. Making fishing sound intense. But, yeah, I don't think I would get much out of fishing besides the relaxing aspect of it, which I could get from other things just as easily, and probably in more productive ways. But still, I don't mind sometimes fishing in a video game. Now, I already caught the bottle, which is the real, like, meat of what I wanted to get here, but I also wanted to see if I could get a boot. Because I think that getting the boot, catching a boot in this game is kind of awesome. No, I don't want to actually catch fish. What is this nonsense? I'm not fishing for fish. Well, in case I never catch it, I don't remember if I did or not. Sometimes you will catch a boot. Or some, like a tire or something. I don't know if it's tire. That wouldn't make any sense in this environment, but the thing I like about the boot is that there's specific dialogue for it that's like... Well, no, I don't know if that's the thing that you catch that says detritus, which is a good word. But, I don't know, whenever you catch the boot, there's like water that gushes out of it, and it's a nice effect. One of those things that they didn't have to include, but they did anyway. Gosh, that's another thing that I'm thinking about now with the Flash movies that I've seen lately is Perfect Kirby. You know, the Perfect Kirby series, I think a fair number of people know about. I've quoted it before in a Let's Play. I think I quoted it in Star Fox, maybe the Medio level. I think. I'm not really positive about that. But I just remember I watched Perfect Kirby. Nice double flip there, Link. Man, just being the acrobat like the beginning of Majora's Mask for no reason. Perfect Kirby 3.1 has a scene where all the characters are in this wrecked up lab trying to figure out what happened and trying to establish, like, it's basically the scene that begins the exposition of the story. And there's one point when Kirby is just on the screen. Oh yeah, there's me trying to cheat, which you can't do, you're not allowed, but it is something that is, it's possible to do it, it just won't get you anything. Man, I'm as baffled by what I'm seeing as you are. It's like I am watching a Let's Play. How convenient. What was I saying? Oh yeah, well, there's just one shot in that scene where Kirby is looking one direction, and then Ian, the penguin, who just is the penguin from Wallace and Gromit, taps him on the shoulder, if you can say Kirby has shoulders. Kirby looks the opposite direction. And then for a few seconds he's just confused. Ian taps him again, and then he looks the right direction, and he's like, what? And it is so utterly pointless, and there's no reason for that shot to be there. Because it's not like it establishes any sort of character. It's not like it's even really a joke. It's just kind of a stupid thing to include. Am I gonna cheat some more? Yeah, I'm gonna try to cheat some more. Good. It really adds nothing, nothing to the animation except for being stupid, which I think is great.
Fast forward time!
I think I do eventually get this, come on. Let's hear that little ding a few more times as I lose. One of the weird things about Rollgoal is that sometimes you will only get close to the goal, but it'll still say you won. I liked that one. I was back on the track, but somehow I failed. Yeah, I think I chose a different method of cheating this time. Yeah. Kind of unfortunate that you can't cheat, but it's at least nice that there's dialogue for cheating, I guess. That they acknowledge it. Like that one shine in Super Mario Sunshine where you can actually skip it, and then the guy is like, what? You're not supposed to be here yet. I still don't understand why Super Mario Sunshine has the one shine in the whole game that you can skip in the levels. There's not really a good reason to skip it. It's not like the first shine is that difficult. Gosh, this is painful to watch. Should I just speed this up? The thing is, I know that if I click on Sony Vegas, it's going to make my computer slow, because that's what happens every time I click into it. And then it's just fine whenever I'm editing, but it's just like, I don't want to mess with the slight hassle of waiting for it for a few seconds. Sometimes it's just like that. Bum, bum, bum. Gotta love this music. Totally not repetitive music. Man, is it really just a 10-second loop? I think it is. Phew! That was intense. The two Pokemon are entirely different types. I have not played Pokemon Stadium. I have just seen the wonders of the announcer. Yes, now we're getting to the real good stuff with Rollgoal here. We've got slopes. Yeah, this is what I appreciate about this game. Although I should probably talk more about some of the negatives of Twilight Princess, because I feel like I've only been talking about positives mostly, except for some of my minor complaints with dungeons. And I feel like I should be fair about it, because I've been wondering lately if it really is my favorite Zelda, and I think it still is. But there are a lot of things that other Zelda games I think do better. But I still appreciate that this game, even though it has sort of this... I'm trying to think. Like, it sort of has this jack-of-all-trades thing going. Jack-of-all-trades, master of few, where it has stuff like Rollgoal, which is totally unnecessary, and it doesn't add a whole lot to the game. But I'm glad that it's still here as something that can be done, because, you know, it's just another one of those things where it doesn't have to be here. You don't have to have... They didn't have to go to the extra effort of adding some kind of little marble maze game, because it's not like it has any pertinence to the regular gameplay, but hey, it's variety, and I like variety. And other Zelda games don't really have stuff like this, so I just... It adds personality, and I like it. And it's probably another thing that I think makes Breath of the Wild a little bit weaker, is that it doesn't have distinct personality sections. It all feels more formulaic to me. Weird how Breath of the Wild feels more formulaic to me than other Zelda games, when that's like... Oh yeah, I forgot, whenever you get close to the end of the goal, then you don't have to pay for it. Or at least you don't have to pay as much for it. Yeah, that counted for some reason. Good. Ugh. I just bumped into something. My foot is asleep. Oh well, it can manage. Yeah, I know that Egoraptor had that long rant in his Ocarina of Time, Link's Awakening, or not Link's Awakening, Link to the Past video, about how Zelda games have become too formulaic, and Skyward Sword was a really good example of, you know, it's all just a formula. You go into a dungeon, you know exactly what you'll get in the dungeon, and then you know exactly what the boss is going to be, because the boss is always just something that uses the item, and yada yada yada. But Breath of the Wild looks like it has so many fewer, very distinct aspects to me than even Skyward Sword does. Because whenever you go to Skyward Sword, it has stuff like that minigame where you fly through hoops. You just fall through hoops onto a target, and that's kind of awesome. And it has music that is, sort of a remix of the music whenever you're going down the waterfall in this game. And then there's that stupid thing where you have to balance the pumpkins, and, you know, a lot of people don't like the pumpkin balancing minigame in Skyward Sword, but at least it's something different, you know? This is just making me think of Super Monkey Ball. Super Monkey Ball 2 is a game that I want to play again at some point. At one point I wanted to make a Let's Play of it, and I think I still could. And it's weird because I'm generally not really a fan of physics-based games, like games that rely heavily on physics, but I think a lot of Monkey Ball is more reliable somehow, I guess. Some levels aren't. Some levels still really suck. But...
Back to normal speed.
Oh, well, the thought process that I was going to go on with that was Super Monkey Ball 2 has Monkey Bowling 2, which is the best party game. We Sports should have definitely had something like Monkey Bowling 2. There need to be more bowling games where the alley just goes nuts and has lots of crazy effects on it, because I think that is what made it so fun. Alright, I think that's going to be all the fishing that I do. Another thing that I was thinking about doing in this playthrough that I don't think I'm going to do anymore is try to catch the Hylian Loach. Because, my goodness, the Hylian Loach is a true quest to get. I would recommend it to anyone who hasn't done it, catching the Hylian Loach in this game. I mean, you do pretty much have to go research how to get it, because there's no way that you're going to figure it out yourself, unless by wasting a whole lot of time, probably. But the Hylian Loach is an adventure, and I think it's a really satisfying one to complete, if only once. Because it's not like something that the game directly outright tells you to do, but it's still something that can be done, and it's like its own little... It's like a personal adventure. And it's a very... I don't know. I just like it. So, I would recommend it. And that's the end of this playthrough, I guess. That's the end of my recording session from... Let's see, I think it was... Let me actually look this up. When this recording session was. Looks like March 22nd. Good.